Let me fucking scoot back a little so I don't punch the microphone.
Hey, come listen to our podcast, yeah. Please listen, it's a hitch. If you don't listen to our podcast, yeah, then you are a bitch.
Maybe that one.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Filmoscopy Podcast, a quaint little show where three friends discuss a movie. Well, one of us pick one, and then we discuss it. Today's movie is 1990's RoboCop 2, directed by Irvin Kershner of Empire Strikes Back fame.
This is his last movie.
Oh, yeah, it is. I think he had plans to do one other movie, but I don't think he was able to do it because he was 1,000 years old.
Well, you know, I wonder if this movie underperforming like it did, like, kind of told him, like, okay, I'm just moving away from directing. Because
yeah, like
he died in 2010, and this was 20 years before his death. Like, dude, this dude just went into fucking retirement and did not come back.
Yeah, I guess you're right. It looks like he did some producer work afterwards, but Irving Kershner is kind of a weird guy anyway, because, like, he's always been kind of outside, or he was always kind of outside Hollywood a little bit. You know, he just does kind of like weird, it seems like indie films and stuff like that seem to be more up his alley. So
interesting. Well, you know, I was thinking, like, so I didn't realize, I guess, till you said it. I mean, I've looked at the Wikipedia page like 2 or 3 times today. But, like, so this came out in 1990. Well,
yeah.
The first one came out in 87, the same year the first Predator movie came out, which was 87. Well, Predator 2 came out in 1990 as well. So it's funny that these two franchises were kind of synced up in the same year to come out, almost. I just wish. So I will say this, like a quick little acknowledgement. I did see Predator Badlands by the time this episode drops. Physical media of that will probably be out, so definitely buy this movie or digitally or however you do it. It's definitely worth it, and it gives me hope to say, like, if somebody's good enough and someone cares about what they're doing, any franchise can be resurrected. You know, like they were talking about, they're still talking about doing another RoboCop movie, but that it just ignores everything but the first movie, Legacy sequel. And I think they wanted the original director to come do it. So I don't know how that's going to work. That was being talked about like 10 years ago. But
they're trying to make a new. Are they trying to make a new RoboCop? You're saying?
Well, they've been talking about it since the reboot kind of failed to make a lot of money that they were hoping back in 2014. They've been wanting to do kind of like a legacy sequel that ignores everything but part 1.
The first one.
So, yeah, and it's like, you know, I don't know how necessarily that works. I mean, the first RoboCop, I know it's like pop culture, but it still didn't make a shit ton of money versus like another property. You know what I'm saying? Like, it made about as much as like Predator, but, you know, after RoboCop 3 did terrible, everything else, they actually have, if you go on Pluto TV, there's a RoboCop live action TV series that they put together that has like 20 episodes, and then they have a couple made-for-TV movies. It
really sucks, the RoboCop TV series.
Yeah.
Well, I think there's a couple, I guess, but one of them I know of one of them, and it kind of sucks. I don't know about the other one.
There's a
Prime Directives or whatever the fuck it's called.
There's a Sega Genesis game I rented one time. I want to say it was at this little chain shop that we had called Mega Video. And it was RoboCop versus the Terminator.
Mm-hmm.
And the story is, like, as I looked up the story today and I was watching a little bit of gameplay, story is that OCP helps build, like, Skynet, or something to the effect of RoboCop gets blown up to pieces, and his pieces are made, or what makes Skynet. So he's inside of Skynet and he has to fight all this shit. But I remember as a kid, because I only made it through like 2 levels, but you actually fight a Terminator as the boss of the first level. The second level, you actually fight a replica of Kane Robo Kane here, RoboCop 2. And then you fight Ed 209, and I was watching somebody's gameplay of it. I never got to the Ed 209 part. I was watching somebody's gameplay of it, and I'm like, damn, it takes way fucking more to kill Ed 209 than it does Kane, and that's not like it is in the movie. Kane, to me, Kane was terrifying as a kid. I don't know what it was. Maybe the fact that he walked faster than Ed 209 and shit, and was just more effective because Ed 209, if he had to go down a flight of stairs, he fell down and cried like a baby. When Kane's over here falling off a fucking Detroit skyscraper, and nothing's wrong with him.
Yeah, I don't think Ed 209. I don't think was meant to be like a. It's funny because I think narratively, in a way, in the first movie, like Ed 209 is supposed to kind of be like a parallel between RoboCop. Like it's like the shittier corporate version of RoboCop, and then in this one they kind of. Of course, Kane is that both within the story and like meta narratively, like it's RoboCop 2, and we have RoboCop 2, which was something that I know the writers, which the two writers are, I want to say it's Frank Miller and Waylon Green. I think in some of the interviews and stuff they mentioned that they were trying to do something meta with that. So, kind of interesting.
Well, like Ed 209, I think, is it the guy who did all the sound effects for, like, Optimus Prime, Frank Welker? Is he the one that did, like, the sound effects for Ed 209, or was that something completely different? I guess I should look that up. I have my own phone.
Yeah, honestly, I'm not sure. I thought it was, isn't it just like, I just remember roars and shit, like, not even like a human roar, but like a, kind of like a jaguar or some shit.
Well, so
yeah, that's what I remember.
Yeah, because it has that roar, but that thing, like as a kid for me, like that roar for Ed 209 when he's like, "Drop your weapon, you have 30 seconds to comply."
Oh,
and he drops a weapon and he goes, "Rrr." Or as a kid, that fucking scared the shit out of me, right? But something about Kane, I mean, we get into it, his design where his face opens up and that computer screen comes out, and you have
he has the goofy little Max Headroom face.
Yeah, and it's like, how can you tell that looks like Kane? That does not look like Kane to me. But whatever.
That was always something really funny to me, is because I think I have seen this movie before, maybe, but I'm not sure entirely. But I do remember the scene where his little computer face comes out, and then the
the chick,
that
right?
lady, the chick character, whatever her name was, she like recognizes him.
Wow.
Yeah, she's like, Kane, I can get used to this. Big robot cock.
He just pulls out this fucking rubber dildo.
Yeah, that's kind of what it was like. He pulls out like his little claw. She starts rubbing on it, and he's like,
Yeah. As a kid, I guess, like I said, we'll get into the plot. But as a kid, when that fat lawyer guy, he got out of the garage area, I guess, and he was running, and then he fell down when the gunshots are going. I remember thinking as a kid, why don't you just stay fucking down? Like he's not gonna be able to shoot you. He gets him, gets shot, and I'm over here thinking, no, he's a fucking robot. He sees all this shit, even though they don't really give us a first person point of view from Kane until he gets, I think, to the kid right before the armored car scene where he shoots the armored car and kills the kid.
Yeah.
And before that, you don't see that he sees like what RoboCop does. Like he sees everything and shit. But I remember as a kid when that scene comes up with that 18-wheeler comes up, that first person camera view, and all of a sudden you hear that boom, boom, the feet coming off of the fucking trailer. As a kid watching it, going, holy shit! I was just fucking scared. Like, whoa.
Yeah.
Like this dude's way fucking meaner than like Ed 209. But my grandma had these on VHS, both of them, so I watched them. Those are the first ones. I actually got her RoboCop 2 VHS somewhere at my house still. Like, I remember getting that from her. And then we're just, like, loving the case, because the case was, like, a dark blue, and it was a shot of RoboCop's helmet, and in the forehead of it, you see a reflection of Kane's shape. And it's like, man, it's fucking cool-ass fucking design. But yeah,
RoboCop.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, you're good. I was going to touch on just kind of the reception of RoboCop 2. So the behind the scenes of this movie is that Orion, the studio behind this movie, they really wanted to have a RoboCop sequel come out pretty quickly because the first one was so successful. And I know there was like a whole lot of marketing and shit too. Like they fucking had RoboCop toys and all that shit, like, you know, video games and stuff like that. But this movie was kind of rushed. Initially, the original writers had, I want to say, if I remember correctly, it was only maybe like like 5 months or so then to like come up with a script. Okay, so yeah, this it says here on the Wikipedia. So the sequel drafting started in September, and the deadline was December 31st. So that's the deadline the original scriptwriters had for making a screenplay. The people originally assigned to write the script were the writers of the first movie. It's Edward Neumeier and Michael Miner. But then during the middle of writing it, there was a Writers Guild strike, and they had to step away. Well, they got fired, really. And instead, they brought in Frank Miller, who was popular in the comic book scene. I don't know if you guys know him. I don't really know him. I just know he's like
Batman, right?
Yeah.
The Dark Knight Returns.
Yeah,
that's
right.
That's the one that everybody says. It feels like Zack Snyder read The Dark Knight Returns, and that's where he based all of his Batman off of.
The Dark Knight Returns is like considered to be one of the best Batman like comics or storylines ever written.
Yeah, that's right. So they brought him in. There was an original draft of the script that was written by Neumeier and Miner. It was like RoboCop was set. It's a lot more cyberpunk because it's set like in the future. Basically, like RoboCop gets like incapacitated and goes into like some kind of like not a coma, but you know, basically gets kind of destroyed, and then like some company comes by and like revives him, and then he's like in the far future. I might be combining because there's another script, but basically, he gets revived, and it's kind of like the far future, and like the government is owned by OCP, and there's just kind of, I think that's really the only thing that came out about the thing. I think RoboCop also is supposed to like fall in love with like an AI lady or something like that. Kind of like Cyberpunk, like the new or not Cyberpunk, but fuck, what's that movie called? The new Blade Runner. He falls in love with like a little AI lady.
Yeah, fucking oh Jesus Christ, the fucking Ryan Gosling.
2049. Yeah, Blade Runner 2049. Whatever her name is. That's
still a great fucking movie. So.
Yeah. So that was kind of the original one, but the studio didn't like it. It was too gritty. And I think they thought it was like too different. So they kind of, when they got the new writers in, they kind of vetoed it. And we're like, okay, make something different. Apparently Frank Miller there's a couple of drafts that Frank Miller did, and one of the drafts, let me think. I know it's part of this comic book series, but I can't remember exactly. So yeah, Frank Miller's original screenplay, I think it was kind of set in the future a little bit more too. And it kind of involves RoboCop like trying to take down OCP, like he's fighting the corporation and stuff like that. But that was also changed. And so we're left with the script that we have now, which I feel like the story for this movie, I feel like on one hand, it's kind of all over the place. It feels like a little bit. And then secondly, that the first half of it is kind of too much of a retread of the first movie. I don't know if you guys felt that too.
Yeah, the only thing that they did, I remember I watched somebody's reaction of this. I think it was Real Rejects, a bigger YouTube channel, obviously, way bigger. But they were, when they watched it, they talked about how this movie had an interesting element with his wife seeing that,
Yeah.
at least his image was still being used, and she wanted to see if he was still in there because he's obviously driving by her house. And, that
And
was
see,
really the
like,
thing, but they wrapped
I
it
like
up too
that.
quick.
I like that scene, but yeah, it's done so quick. Like, it's kind of just like a non sequitur,
Yeah, you would.
like little part of the movie.
Yeah, you would think with as much focus as they were putting on it, it would have like a bigger impact in the film later on. But it's kind of just like, all right, because do they ever even? I know they kind of like have the moment later on where he's all busted up and he's having like bunch of flashes from like his life before, and I guess whatever, but they don't really ever go back to the whole like him stalking her thing, do they?
No.
No. I mean, even when he's like having his little freak out after they tear him apart, they don't show anything in his mind. Like, he has one image of his son when the kid shoots him in the head.
Yeah.
He's like, I guess you can't shoot a kid, can you, fucker? And he shoots him. And then he goes like, hey, throw it back, Dad, or whatever. That's the only other image he gets. And he has one image of his wife, them kissing when she's in the shower and he's like tickling her feet or whatever, which is a good shot where he kisses her and she goes back into the shower in the heat. And he looks back into the bathroom mirror and just kind of goes from smiling to just kind of staring. It's almost like he's staring back at himself,
and then
the
he
robot
breaks
version of
out in a
himself.
song. He's like, I'm looking at
The greatest
man
showman.
in the mirror. Ooh.
But it doesn't. They don't do anything else. Like, once, he tells his wife what she wants to hear. Like, everything, all that part of that storyline has been dropped. Like, he has no flashbacks to his wife and son anymore. He has nothing like that, which is weird because the first movie that still plagued him, and it feels like you could have wrapped. That could have been a little bit of a thread that went throughout this movie, and then maybe wrapped at the end. To kind of give her closure. But he was like, I understand why he did it. Like, they kind of like twisted his arm, made him realize, like, look, what are you gonna do? Give her love? You can't do that.
Yeah,
So he was just
I think it's
straight up.
It's
dick
a
to
great.
her, but
Yeah, it's a great thing for the character, I feel, because it's like, yeah, RoboCop is conflicted, and then he ultimately decides that it's probably better off if she thought he was just dead. But
but to be
Yeah, I don't
wrapped
know.
up in 20 minutes of a 2-hour movie, though,
yeah,
like, that was the whole thread of the first movie. Like, he kept having flashbacks to his family, and in this movie, after like the first 20 minutes, and they have that scene, he don't think about the bitch or son anymore. That's it.
it's kind of
So
and it's kind of funny too, because in some of the commentary and like making of documentary, I believe I remember hearing. I don't think Irvin Kershner's in any of those, but I think one of the producers or something was talking about one of his intents for like in his direction, that he wanted to like have these elements where RoboCop is like struggling between his programming and like his humanity, which they kind of cover in the first movie, but I think he wanted to like expand upon it, but I guess he didn't really he wasn't really able to. I think the studio fucked with this movie a lot, is what I want to think.
And
So.
the guy who plays Kane, well, we'll get into the cast. He's not anywhere as good as the guy who played the bad guy in the first movie. And I don't mean
Yeah.
like the corporate guy. I'm talking about the guy leader of the gang of the first one.
Yeah, the dude who plays the dad in that 70s show.
That 70s show. Let me get his name because I'm like, I ain't gonna be disrespecting him. He's the best character in all these fucking movies. That would be Kurtwood Smith. He's Clarence Bodicker, the crime lord in League with Dick Jones. But yeah, Kurtwood Smith, I mean, the way he is in that first movie, like, he's a fucking asshole. But he's funny, he's charismatic, and you hate him. It's like, damn, like that scene I remember in the first movie, I think we talked about in that episode. But when they pull him in after RoboCop beats the piss out of him and he's bleeding everywhere, when he spits blood on the chief's desk, he goes, just give me my fucking phone call. When he spits the blood, the fake blood, that scene was not scripted. Like, he just did that. And everybody's reaction to, like, what the fuck? Was like a genuine reaction they just left in the movie, which was just awesome. You don't get anything like that with Kane here.
Yeah, he's just real fun to watch. Tom Noonan is the person who plays Human Kane. And, he's just not really as charismatic. They're trying to go with some kind of like cult angle with him, I guess.
Yeah.
From the behind the scenes, it seems like Tom Noonan was actually kind of disappointed in the role because, half of the movie, and not even really half, he only shows up for like maybe a couple of scenes as like a human, and most of it's him being, RoboCop 2, which I do find him a lot more threatening as the giant screaming robot with the CGI face than I do as like the goofy dude. He's like, needs more, whatever the fuck.
he goes, I can feel it. My teeth are tingling.
Yeah.
I love that part. But then the next scene, he's completely normal. It's like, okay, something was edited out of that, to cut it down.
Yeah.
It almost feels like this movie may have been like too long. And when they cut it down, it lost a lot of its meaning, Like, I don't know how much more was like filmed, but like, another example going back to comic books, Batman vs Superman, the theatrical cut. Me and Cody watched it. It's a jumbled mess. If you watch the Ultimate Edition, which is like another 32 minutes, it makes a whole lot more fucking sense. Like, there's nothing that jumps around. But the way this movie kind of cuts some things abruptly, like talking about the storyline with his wife, then goes to this, and then Kane, like all this stuff keeps jumping. It's like I feel like they cut out some stuff, the transitional scenes, to make it a more compact movie, even though it was an hour and like 53 minutes, So I wonder how much was actually cut when you were talking about like studio.
Well, I don't think anything was actually. I mean, yeah, you're right. I think there was probably some things that they wanted to do, or things that just weren't okayed by the studio or whatever. There was another thing that Irvin Kershner wanted to kind of show off. Another segment of this movie that I feel like is kind of weird. Is they have this whole little subplot of kind of RoboCop gets the like software update or whatever, where he gets all those like goofy, all those goofy directives and stuff. But it kind of doesn't really amount to anything. He just fucking goes around back and like shocks himself, and then it's like, okay, he's all better.
Yeah, it's more like just for the bit.
Yeah,
and it's an abrupt lead into that whole like scenario anyway, because it's like the company or OCP or whatever is like trying so hard to like make a replacement for him anyway, and you literally get a scene where they're like, oh, well, he's obsolete and we need a new replacement, and it's going to be so expensive to repair him and blah blah blah. And then, like, the next scene is, like, them having a focus group thing about, like, what would you change about RoboCop? So it makes it almost set up, like, oh, well, these are the things we want to change about RoboCop 2. But then it's like, okay, we're going to implement them into the original RoboCop, which we had just, not too long ago, talked about being too expensive to fix. And now he's fixed all of a sudden. So we're going to put all this stuff in that the focus group decided. It's weird because it's like, well, if you're saying he's obsolete and you want to replace him anyway, why even go through the process of doing all of this? And like I said, it really comes off like it was just, we just want to have like this comedic thing happen in the movie. And that's what I was meaning earlier by like the comedy in this it's not done through like the world building with like the commercials and things like that. It's like really like in your face, just direct. And these scenes here being like the biggest contributors of the humor in the film. Yeah,
I feel like Irving Kershner, or really, I don't know if this is maybe a scriptwriter thing or something, but they didn't fully get like Paul Van Paul. God damn it! How do you say his name? Paul Van Hoven. Paul Van Hoven, is that how you say it? Hold on.
Paul Van Hoven had a Lederhosen.
Paul Verhoeven. Paul Verhoeven. There we go. I feel like this movie didn't fully get Paul Verhoeven's like humor. Like RoboCop 1 is a little bit darker in terms, like it's a little bit more dark comedy. Like just off the top of my head, like this does have like the commercials and stuff like that, but the only one I can remember is like that I feel like kind of gets it. You know, they have that commercial where it's like, oh, the sun is fucked up. You need to wear this goofy sunscreen.
And she's like, they say 20 seconds in the sun is too much. After we lost the ozone. And it's like sunscreen 5,000. You use a pint and you're good all day. And she's like all painted up like she's a fucking road warrior or some shit.
Mm-hmm.
And
I feel like
it's funny as hell.
It gets close to it. I feel like that gets close to it. But within the movie, you know, like RoboCop 1, there's stuff in the movie that's funny. Just even outside of that, you know, like one of the dark comedy moments I can think of is, you know, RoboCop saves that woman from you know, being assaulted. And then as soon as she comes up and like starts hugging him and it's like, "Thank you." And he's like, "I will contact a rape crisis center for you, ma'am." You know, like just like stone cold, like no emotion. Whereas in this one, like the comedy is like, oh, there's a bunch of little kids like robbing a store. Isn't that goofy?
Hey, they're like when he's talking to them, they're like, he's fucked up.
They're still here.
Yeah.
The little bastards. But when the kids are like got their hands on their head, and he's talking to them, and he goes,
he's like,
he's
all right,
fucked
line up
up.
against the wall. Yeah. I feel like, I mean, you know, that's not bad, but I feel like it's not the same kind of comedy, you know.
Oh,
That and RoboCop 1 can be, RoboCop 1 can also be kind of weird too, like, you know, the "I'll buy that for $1" type shit.
For $1.
Yeah.
Look, I actually love like that part of RoboCop. I know it's weird. I do love that part of RoboCop. This movie felt like Owen was saying, like you have like Cody, like you were talking about, like Frank Miller, like writes one of the best graphic novels of all time, right? Considered by some people, probably the best. And then you have, I can't remember the director's name, but the guy who directed probably the best Star Wars movie out of all of them, The Empire Strikes Back. Mm-hmm. And you put that kind of creative team together, and the executive producer of the first one was the producer of this one. And it's like they just completely missed everything.
Well, Owen did,
you know, like the only thing that feels the same is just if you have the same actors playing his partner and, you know, Murphy. That's it.
Yeah. Owen, were you saying earlier that Frank Miller, did he write the final script or did they rewrite it?
Sorry, I was a little unclear there. Frank Miller and Waylon Green wrote the final draft. They were but they had some drafts written prior to that got scrapped.
Gotcha.
Frank Miller made a comic book series, if I recall correctly,
with his original
of some of those. Yeah,
okay.
That's right.
I got you. That's where I was confused because I thought maybe he wrote some of the early drafts and then they were like, well, we don't want to use this, and then he left and then later just made them into comics. So okay, I just wanted to make sure I was.
No, yeah, you're good.
Yeah.
I know I was a little unclear there. I think you can kind of tell, and I think I can kind of pick up even from you guys that this movie is a little. We like this a little less than the first RoboCop. Yeah. I feel.
And I wasn't expecting that, to be honest with you. I remember watching. Like, I've watched both these movies growing up, and I loved them both. Like, oh, this is awesome. Mm-hmm. And then I watched other people's reactions, like, man, I still like part 2. But watching it this time, after watching it so close to the original, for a critical perspective, and I'm over here like, yeah, I can see what people are saying. Like, the humor's off. The whole movie feels disjointed. Like, it can't ever get aligned with what it's trying to do.
I still
choppy.
I still enjoy this movie, though. Like, yeah, it's not as good as the first one, and I'm similar to you, Lance, because I just watched these like last year, I think, for the first time, or maybe early this year, and I was thinking like, oh, I like RoboCop 2 more than I like the first one, and rewatching them, it's like, no, the first one is better, but I still enjoy the second one as disjointed and like weirdly, you know, put together as it is, and it's definitely not RoboCop 3 levels of horrendous.
No, yeah, like spoiler alert, I definitely still recommend this movie, and I recommend watching them together, 1 and 2. But yeah, I can definitely tell from an objective perspective, like this is a worse movie than the first one. It's still better than anything else that has come out since from the RoboCop franchise, including the reboot. and Kane as Robo Kane or RoboCop 2, wherever you want to call him, is threatening fucking villain. Like, he's awesome. The shit he does, like, and even the animatronic scenes that they do, the little replicas when he's like picking them up, like you can tell it's not like CGI, but it still looks good. There's a charm in it to how this movie looks.
Oh yeah,
know?
the
And
effects.
it's still,
The effects in this are A+. I think the action and effects are pretty A+. I think they're like this movie feels a little less gory to me. Like, it doesn't feel as visceral as the first RoboCop, but I think the effects, because it's Rob Bottin. It's the same guy who did the first movie and The Thing. So the puppeteering and all the practical effects are fucking great, you know. And
yeah.
even same thing with the stop motion action sequences. Like, they obviously, you know, it's stop motion, so it's gonna have a bit of a disconnect, but I still think they look pretty great. It's the same guy who did the first one, and the guy who was in charge of he did the ones in Jurassic Park, what few stop motion scenes were in Jurassic Park 1 until they got all replaced by CGI.
Well, that's cool shit. Like, like you're saying, Owen, like everything, like from the action perspective, I don't think it's bad. It is less gory. It's just the performances of this movie, not Murphy and his partner. She really doesn't have much in this movie to do. And the police chief, who's, you know, an enjoyable character in the first movie, he doesn't have much to do in this movie too. Like, that's something three roles. I mean,
that's something I'll say I was a little disappointed in, is that like his partner from the first film isn't really in this a whole awful lot, and when she is, it's more just like it's just like she's there to just question what the hell's going on with Murphy. She's not really like contributing anything to the overall plot.
Yeah.
You know?
I don't remember that as a kid either. Like, so I'm like, oh yeah, you got all these people coming back. But yeah, well, rewatching it and actually paying attention, like, she's got maybe 10 minutes of screen time. The police chief has maybe like 5 minutes of screen time, and then everything else is all these other characters that are not being performed well or not written well. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to put everything on the actors or anything. Like I said, there's less charisma overall in this movie than it is in the first movie. Like the old man of OCP, the CEO, and then the other guy from part 1, the one that's like, it tastes like baby food. You know, the light skinned guy with the glasses, he's in this. But they're not given much to do. Like, even in the first movie, like I feel like everybody had some kind of moments that kind of stood out. Like, you know, you have the black dude in the factory or part of the gang where he's peeing, and she goes, "Put your hands up." He goes, "Do you mind if I zip this up?" And like every one of those bad guys had a moment, or they had something that kind of made it memorable. Like, nothing in this movie is like memorable outside of RoboCop fighting RoboCop 2.
Yeah.
You know, that's the only thing. I still like this movie, but it is really kind of jarring when you kind of think about it. Like, damn, man, like this movie is just lacking in every perspective.
Yeah. So, to touch on the his partner, I can't remember the character's name, but it's played by Nancy Allen. So in the background documentary that was released like I want to say like 20 years later, she mentions that in some of the earlier drafts, I think written by Frank Miller, she was going to take a more active part and kind of have like a bit more of an arc in the story. But it was either removed either by the request of just through the rewrites or through Irvin Kershner. If I recall correctly, her and Irvin Kershner didn't get along very well for whatever reason. Irvin Kershner had something against her. I guess she says something in the documentary that she thinks that like she wasn't his idea of like a leading lady. Like, she wasn't like conventionally attractive enough or something. So she kind of got pushed to the side. So she doesn't really have any kind of active role. I don't know anything about the police chief. I guess he just kind of gets the short end of the stick. Not sure about that one. But that's what's going on with her. and actually, she said that her experiences with this movie, working with Irvin Kershner, were kind of what led her to kind of put a hiatus on her acting. Like she kind of, made her stop acting for a while. But
I think she's in part 3 because I know her character gets killed in part 3. So
I don't
let me just
know.
double-check
She
make
might
sure
just be
actually
in
is.
for like a little while just to get killed.
Yeah.
That might be.
Oh yeah, she's at the beginning of it. She gets killed. I remember watching that movie, like, oh man, like she's gonna come in like a RoboCop chick, I guess, or whatever. But she didn't. So it was just like
Yeah, she
that.
probably was just like, just kill my character off. I don't want to be in this.
Yeah, man, I just looked at the Rotten Tomatoes of RoboCop 3. It's got a 9%, baby. Woo!
It's got a what percent?
A 9%.
Oh damn!
On RoboCop
Yeah,
3,
RoboCop
like-
3 I hear is pretty bad. I haven't seen it.
I couldn't get past the first 20 minutes of it when I try to watch it. I like you want to talk about
there's
a
a
movie
kid.
that loses the tone of what RoboCop is. RoboCop 3 very much doesn't feel like it even belongs in the same
Yeah,
universe.
I feel like yeah, and that is something. I feel like I might be being a little harsh on this movie because, like,
No.
I feel like it could be way worse. It could be far, far and away worse. Because I did. This movie's
you guys wanna know
okay.
something?
Yeah, go
this is
ahead.
kind of crazy. So Frank Miller, he shared directing duties on the 2 Sin City movies, and he produced like 300 and shit like that. He
Yeah.
also wrote RoboCop 3. Frank Miller did.
Ooh, damn.
Like he has credit for story, like a shared story credit, and he wrote the screenplay. That's what's fucking crazy about RoboCop 3. Oh, screenplay is him and Fred Decker, which is the writer, the director, and then he's got the story. That's
Tisk,
fucking
tisk,
funny as hell.
tisk. Yeah, Frank Miller, he made the 300 comic, right? That the movie's based off of, and Sin City, if I remember right.
Yeah, he also was like part of their productions.
Yeah, so say what you will, however you feel about those movies. I don't remember how Sin City.
Hey, Cody, you have experience with this because you've played Rogue City, right? The RoboCop game. So it is 100% like, this is what Wikipedia is telling me. It is like it takes place after part 2 and before part 3. Right?
Yeah,
I think
I was gonna say.
I thought it takes place between 1 and 2.
I think it.
No, it's 2 and 3.
Yeah, it's between 2 and 3 because I think in the game, if I remember right, in the game they reference the strike and everything that's going on in the second movie.
Okay.
And at the end of the plot, it says at the end they're talking about a Japanese corporation moving in, and that's what is RoboCop 3.
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. That game was fun. I really enjoyed it. Got the platinum trophy in it, but I don't remember much of the plot.
I never really got around to finishing. I played like the first couple levels,
I mean,
but
it's fun as hell.
to finish it.
Like going around shooting people in the dick and
Throwing them around.
throwing them around and stuff.
The
but,
RoboCop
like,
gun.
I don't really remember the plot for it. I couldn't tell you what the fuck the premise is of that game.
You never did finish this DLC, did you, Cody?
No, I never played that new one, that new part of it that they put out this year.
Did it come out?
No. If they ever make that game free on PlayStation, I'll download it.
Dude, they
and play
did.
it. I ain't gonna be able to. They did?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that a few months ago they put RoboCop as like a PlayStation Plus game.
Hell, you didn't tell me, buddy.
I'm pretty sure I did. I'm pretty sure I messaged
I don't think so.
the Madden group chat about it because I think Alex responded to it. Yeah, it was a PlayStation Plus monthly game for April 2025.
Dude, you can
Well,
play as
Cody,
Ed
my
209 in the DLC and Alex Murphy.
Yeah, I know that's a big
100%.
selling point that they were showing for the DLC is that you play as just like Alex Murphy before he became, or at least for part of it, you play as Alex Murphy before he became RoboCop. Which
That's kind of cool.
Which is neat, but at the same time, part of what makes the game so fun is that you are RoboCop.
Yeah.
So you're walking around, and like you have some level of like shielding from people shooting at you and stuff. So I don't know how the Alex Murphy sections would actually work or how they would.
Maybe you're like quicker because like in that game you move slow as fucking molasses.
Oh yeah.
From what I remember.
RoboCop moves slow. Halt.
Yeah, and he holds his little hand up behind his fucking head and shoots you.
Like he's posing. Oh.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about,
Yeah.
where he does like the.
Yeah, like he's got.
It
Like,
cracks me up.
his open hand is hanging up behind his.
Yeah.
Exactly what you're talking about.
It looks cool, but like if you actually stop and think about it, it's kind of goofy.
Like I said,
It's
it's
like,
like
girl,
talk about how-
I'm finna shoot your ass, girl. Oh hell no!
Can we talk about how great the RoboCop just gun is?
Yeah. That-
I always thought that shit was so cool in this movie.
Yeah, it's really
That
cool when he
burst
shoots
fire.
around that guy, and you're like, "What the fuck was this guy doing?" Thank you for not smoking.
Thank you, Brian.
Thank you.
Hey,
Smoke a
you
pole.
know, I don't know if you guys noticed this at all in the movie. I can't remember one instance where they show him do that little spinny thing with his gun before he puts it back in his leg.
Was
You know,
it?
the whole thing in the first movie they established. I don't remember seeing that at all in this movie.
Yeah, like a
doesn't he do
cowboy.
it after he shoots at the guy smoking the cigarette?
They don't spotlight it. It's not one of those things they always
Oh.
go to, like you see it and they
see.
For some reason, I thought it like he spins it briefly and then like sticks it in his. But maybe I'm just imagining that.
I'll look up the clip right now. Jamie pulled a clip.
I can. I can
right,
only
let's see.
imagine.
All right,
what it would
I'm watching it
look-
right now.
How that sight would be if RoboCop's gone.
Okay, yeah, he does it, but yeah, they don't like
They don't focus.
focus the camera on it.
Yeah. Which is, I feel like, is another thing that they miss. Like, you know, at least show us that one more time. That was a big, like, thread, him doing it, and every time he did it, they would show it in the first movie. You know, like
Yeah,
I said,
I
everything,
forgot
like, the first
that-
movie is just kind of like,
I forgot that it is like a holdover from him being his like son asking him to do it or whatever.
can you do that, Dad?
Do it. Do the roar.
Do it, do it or spew it.
Or you could do the,
But,
or do the Emperor. Do it.
It's funny to bring up the gun, but yeah, the gun is cool. But apparently before they were making this, they were initially going to change the gun, but then like everybody was like, "Dude, you can't do that. Like that's stupid. The gun is so cool. Like fuck off."
Like,
But
well, it seems like they had a whole mess of bad ideas that just didn't work, you know? So,
yeah, but they did
I-
change the design of the suit a little bit, which all I can really tell is the color. I guess like they changed some of the material, and like it looks a little less in some areas, like he's just wearing like a rubber suit or whatever.
What do you think?
Uh,
Do you prefer this color over the original, just like gray?
No, I like the gray more.
yeah.
This suit looked
This one
very
has that
good.
bluish hint to it.
Yeah, well, it's got,
Like
it's hard. I don't know what you would call it, but I know that there was like my reference for this is like an old Need for Speed game or something where you could like literally change the color of your car to look exactly like this, where it has like it's like a purplish or a bluish color, but it has almost like a rainbow sort of effect to it. The way the light is like shining on it, you know.
yeah, specularity, I believe they call it, or some shit like that. I could be wrong.
Did you say singularity?
It's
Um,
interesting.
Specularity or some shit.
Specularity.
It's like the little light reflection on an object or some shit like that.
It-
But anyways,
Does it? Maybe it's just me. When I think about the suit in this movie, it almost feels like it has elements of the gray in it, but as the color expands out, it turns into a blue. It's almost like a spectrum of colors, but it's all just like gray to blue
You talking
on
about-
his suit on this one,
are you-
whereas the first
Are you
one
talking
is
about the
the
gray
RoboCop.
where A Kiss from a Rose is?
shut the fuck up.
Kiss from
Kiss-
a
a kiss from a
rose
seal.
on the gray. Ooh.
Nuh-uh. I can't hold the Mountain Dew. Oh, it's a shame.
Oh,
Supposedly-
baby, yeah.
supposedly, Rob Bottin wanted the suit to look like how it does in the second movie.
Oh, really?
Is that the guy from the first
supposedly.
movie?
Yeah. He designed the suit in the first movie, and he came back and designed the suit for this one too.
Yeah, they downgrade, buddy.
They're like, we don't have the budget.
Yeah.
for it.
I think they want.
I think
Well, I
the
they
suit.
wanted to make it look more crisp, but it just doesn't work.
I think the suit itself looks very good, like the way it's designed and everything, and like the modeling. I just don't like the color. That's like the only thing.
Yeah.
It's weird. Like I always remember as a kid, and they put in like story, like in Star Wars, they put in story elements. Like Darth Vader could get out of his armor suit. That's why it looks different from parts 4 to 5. And then even 5 to 6, there's small differences. Because I remember thinking as a kid, like the suit they put him in episode 3, like that looks like the suit from 4 or like episode 5 and 6, but episode 4 has a small little mouthpiece where the rest of it has like an even triangle and an upside down triangle on his mask, So I'm like, how the fuck does he get out of the suit if he can't leave the suit or die? But they show in Rogue One that he can get in his little bacta tank or whatever.
Yeah.
And so
I thought
he
he got
changes
in
it
that.
around. Like this one,
I
like
always
in
thought it was
RoboCop,
that.
it's just like, why is there a change?
Yeah. I always thought it was that little sphere that he is in, like in the beginning of Empire.
Yeah, they show later on. Like, I don't think he can take the suit. He can take off his mask, but remember, like he takes off his helmet, but he has a face part on his mask in the front, like it's a separate piece. So I always thought that whenever, like in Empire Strikes Back, when you see his helmet come back down, like maybe his helmet's just off and he's scratching the back of his head or some shit. I don't think it's his whole entire mask because it's like a whole separate piece when Luke takes it off in part 6.
Speaking of how they changed RoboCop, maybe it's like the PS5 plates where you can like pop them off and replace them with different ones.
They should have put like a Monster Energy plate on them or some shit. They could have replaced it with some anime babes or some shit. Be dope.
RoboCop comes to
Like some
Call of
Grand
Duty
Theft Auto.
Warzone, and that's exactly what they would do.
He
I
just
got
has
the- I got the
fucking
Mountain
weed.
Dew thigh plate.
He has weed leaves all over him and shit. Dead or alive, you're getting choked up with me.
Hey, Owen, what was the box office on this movie?
So this movie had a budget of between $25 to $30 million, and it made $45.7 million.
Damn, man.
So it did
that
make
first
money,
movie,
but not as much as the first one.
well, so rule of thumb, and I don't know how it was back then. Like, you can always take the production budget and just times it by 2, and they have to make more money than that to actually make money on the movie. So the first movie, I looked it up, it was like $13.7 million, and they made $53 million. So 17 plus 17, it's 34. So they made almost $20 million extra. Because you have to pay for advertisement when a sequel comes around. They usually put more money in advertisement, and then the theaters, after the first weekend, get like half a cut of all the ticket sales. I think the first weekend is really where the company, the production company, makes all of most of its money back, because from then on it's a 50-50 split from the theaters. Like, it could have been different back then. That's how it is, like, the last 20 years. So this movie, if its budget was 30, it needed to make more than 60 to make its money back, and it made less than the first movie. With a budget that was almost 3 times as much. I feel like it's unnecessary because there wasn't anything else in this movie that was different from the first one. Like, you have the big, Ed 209 like product, RoboCop 2. You have RoboCop. You have the animatronic scene, and everything else is the same. Like, there was no set designs that were like different. You have some more skyscrapers and shit like that, but all that shit's on a fucking green screen anyway. So I'm not
really
sure
don't know.
what else they spent the money on.
I feel like maybe the ending, I feel like is a little bit more bombastic. Like, it's, because the climax of the first movie is like some shitty factory. They're just driving around like some normal cars. But in this one, they have like APCs and like a giant building with like OCP Nazi flags and stuff,
That is funny.
That's probably where all the budget went.
The fact you said Nazi, there was like at the beginning. So after the first opening of this movie, which is a commercial about car burglary, and the dude gets in it, you see these like fucking 3 things strap over his chest and his legs, and it shocks him to death. And the guy goes, "It's like it won't run down your battery," and he drives off, and it's megavolt or whatever. And then there is one commercial I gotta talk about in just a second, which is really fucked up. You do see kind of a Nazi symbol, but not so much a Nazi symbol. Like it's the design of it, but it doesn't have the extra it doesn't have the end hash marks of the Nazi. You see that on as it goes through the old lady getting her buggy knocked over with all the cans, the guy robbing her, and then the strippers or the hookers robbing him.
Oh, in the intro. Are you saying the car in the intro?
Well, no. So there's somebody, there's a homeless person sitting next to a wall, and you see like this half-ass Nazi symbol right next to him that's kind of etched in with almost like chalk.
Oh, somebody spray painted or tried to spray paint a swastika on the thing.
Yeah.
Okay, I get it.
But
now.
Let's talk about this one commercial. It's the guy trying to save a few bucks with his sending in the fax. He goes, "I lost the account."
Oh yeah,
he puts the gun up and shoots himself in the fucking head.
That is actually one of the standout. That is actually a good commercial. The commercials, for the most part, I feel like are good. Like they fit very well with RoboCop 1, and that one in particular, I feel like is kind of a standout. I lost the account. He just fucking blows his head off.
And they show a close up of his daughter in the background, a picture of her. And it goes OCP, the only choice. So
it's kind of fucked too, because the way it cuts to it, it's like it doesn't show it like you're kind of not tipped off that it's a commercial until the end, where you do see like the OCP logo pop up.
Hey, another thing, so the first movie had a couple cutaways to the news anchors, talking about shit. Yeah. You only get one instance with them at the beginning of this movie. And when they're talking about Kane, they like, "We have this message from Kane, the drug lord." And he goes, "People want what does he say? He says, "People want
whatever the drug is, nuke," which we hadn't.
Yeah, he goes, "I'm gonna give it to him." And then they cut to something else, like, "Thanks for your words, Kane." Almost, they don't say it that way, but the way they cut away from this message that was sent to them, him just looking in the camera, he says 2 lines. They're like, "Yeah, thanks a lot, Kane," and then on to this, and they're talking about all the damage he's doing and shit.
Yeah,
that shit was funny. I remember I lost the account. I was trying to save a few bucks.
Yeah, I remember that part really well. That is one of the good little sequences. I think the intro is kind of good, where it's like the string of just constant violence. Like the dude comes up to the lady. Like I can't remember exactly how the sequence goes, but I think the old lady
what happened?
Gets pushed over or something.
Well, no, she's pushing her cart that's full of Coke cans. And this car comes up and hits it, boom, and she's like, oh. He comes up and goes, "What happened?" And he fucking pushes her over and takes her purse. Yeah, he steals a bracelet and some cash, and then those hookers come up. They start beating the shit out of him. But what's funny is, and it's funny, you see these movie tricks, they're kicking him, he's fine, and then they do one little kick, and all of a sudden he's bleeding profusely from his forehead, like he bladed in wrestling.
Yeah,
and I think he goes, "You put my eye out, you bitch."
They got him in the eye, right? Like with the little eye.
Yeah, he's like, "You poked my eye out, you bitch." And I think that shit's kind of funny, like that part. I remember when the kid is choking out Lewis, his partner, and you see it. She has her 2 fingers up underneath the cord. Obviously, it's they're not trying to choke her out for real in the movie, but I just thought it was funny to catch that kind of trick where she's supposed to be being choked out. To catch that chick, that trick on camera, where she's obviously protecting herself, instead of actually getting choked. If you notice, it's she has the 2 fingers up underneath there, and she can't so it's not actually choking her, and you can obviously tell it's not choking her, but she's acting like she's getting choked. It's just one of those things. I always just think it's kind of funny when you see okay, this is obviously this is the stunt work, and it looks
Yeah.
kind of phony, and they catch it on camera instead of making it look as real as possible. You know.
Speaking of the little kid, how do you guys? It seems like there's a consistent. I've read some negative reviews of this, and it seems like that's something a lot of people had issues with is the kid character.
Fuck them.
I don't have a problem with him in this really. I think it's weird that he has such a major part in it, and that he has like such command. It feels like over this like. It almost make it feel like he's like second in command to Kane, which is a little bit weird. So I don't necessarily like that.
Yeah,
I think
I get it when Kane's around, like because it's like he's kind of grooming him to be the next one, but it's kind of goofy.
Yeah, it's goofy
when
like they're hanging out, like it's just him and a bunch of adults, and they like his cronies are like listening to him, and I don't know, like
I feel like it would have made more sense to have like the kid be the one who wanted to go and get Kane, and then like maybe he kind of gets pushed to the wayside after. Yeah. After Kane dies and
his
becomes
character
Robo.
Definitely could have been tweaked, but I don't necessarily have like a major problem with it with that character being in the film.
Nah, yeah. He doesn't drag the film down.
No. Unlike the kids in
it's like
RoboCop 3.
Well, like when we were talking about, like we talked about earlier, like this whole movie's lacking the charisma of the first one. Like even like everything, like Murphy doesn't seem as charismatic. Like, 'cause, his tortured performance of is he Murphy? Is he just a RoboCop in the first movie? Does not carry over in this movie after like the first 20 minutes, and it's just weird that, like I said, like everybody in this movie. I guess it's the writing. I guess we'll go ahead and blame it because it's the same dude who wrote RoboCop 3. And that movie sucks ass. Frank Miller. But it's just weird that, like, everything is downgraded. And then, like Cody was talking about, the third one's fucking rough. I think the Japanese android robot thing they make is pretty cool. But it's not great. It's not like, Ed 219, there was something humorous about him, but he was also threatening. Kane is threatening in this movie. That one just feels like, okay, well, we got to do like a T-1000 type, like fast moving villain for him to fight instead of a big clunky villain,
Yeah.
It's just weird. I just like this movie, this kid, I don't feel like anything this kid did was like terrible. I just think everybody was just going off of what was on the page. There probably wasn't a lot of imagination.
Yeah, no, I think they just didn't like the character. I do think the kid got some flack though afterwards, but I understand it, but I mean he wasn't like a standout reason why I thought this movie was less good than RoboCop Uno. I like his little gun. He's got a cool gun. It's like a little like cassette player that flips out into like a fully functioning gun. Apparently it actually did work like as a prop gun. Like you could like load, I think it was like a 9mm that they converted into it or something, which is pretty cool.
That is pretty cool.
So
the chick, she was, like I said, I feel like a lot of people in these movies was just kind of like, meh. I don't think anything was bad, in this movie. That's the weird part. Other than the story being so disjointed.
Yeah, and even then, I don't
say it was bad.
I don't think that that's necessarily like. It's not terrible. It's just kind of like weird. It's like, okay, we have this like weird segment where like, and I mean like it's kind of goofy. It's like fun little element to have RoboCop be like this goofy restricted guy, but it doesn't really go anywhere. Or like you see his wife, and you kind of want more to that. You feel like there should be more, but there really isn't.
Yeah. Like I say, I think ultimately we can. I mean, I guess you can. I mean, it has to come down to the writing, and the studio stuff. I don't know. I mean, the director. I think the director did what he could with the script. And like I said, he had great work with Empire Strikes Back and shit like that. Maybe he's just a one-hit wonder. I don't know.
Yeah.
But Frank Miller. I guess we can kind of like put a lot of the large chunk of blame on him and in the studio with this movie. For rushing it and cutting chunks of this shit out. Like I said, it just felt like everybody was doing what was asked of them, but there was nothing exceptional in the script to stand out on the screen. You know, that's the
Yeah.
weird part. Like I said, I mean, the movie is fun. I recommend it, but the more I talk about it, it's like there's nothing bad about this movie. This isn't Jason Goes to Hell. You
Yeah.
know, this isn't like Jason X. Sorry, Cody. This is just it's RoboCop 2. It's less than the first one, but it's better than a lot of sequels and a lot of franchises. You know,
Yeah.
so it's just weird. It's just really
Like,
weird
yeah,
that
I don't mind
that
this
kid would
movie,
get
but
flagged. I don't
I don't
remember
think
hating the
it's.
kid.
I enjoyed my time with it somewhat. Definitely while watching it, I was like, yeah, this really isn't as good as the first one, because it didn't captivate me in the same way. But like, you know, out of the two, you know, we mentioned it earlier with Predator 2. I think Predator 2 is a better sequel to Predator 1 than this is a sequel to RoboCop
Yes.
1.
But you also have a lot of great actors in Predator 2. Like, you have Bill Paxton in a small role. You have
Yeah.
Danny Glover. You have, like, some of the character actors from Lethal Weapon are in this because the same producers and everything. You know, and then you have the Predator, which is pretty fucking sweet. And you got Gary Busey. Like, he's fucking nuts. So, yeah, Predator 2 is good. Like, this movie definitely suffers from the screenplay, but the charisma of the supporting actors just not being that great, you know. And maybe that just comes from like direction, and
Yeah.
writing not meshing, which is I don't know. It's just strange, man. This movie's off, like I said, but I don't remember. Like I still don't hate the movie, you know. Like I don't sit there and watch this movie going, my God, this is a fucking drag or some shit like that, you know. But it's just weird that you know it gets the flack it does. Like this, I think it's just an average movie. You know, to hear that people hate this movie for certain reasons or for a certain actor, it's like, well, I mean, they're just kind of meh. There's nothing bad about it, you know. Just weird. I don't know. It's weird this movie gets the kind of hate that I have read,
Yeah.
seen people talk about.
I feel like
which
this
is-
movie is it's nowhere near, like, it's not deserving of like a fucking I don't know what it is on like Rotten Tomatoes, like a 40 something or some shit like that. Like, you know, to me this movie is like a solid, like, you know, maybe 6 to 7 area, 6, 7.
6, 7. Yeah, I mean it's very it's middle of the road, you know. But it's not a waste of a watch. You're not gonna watch it going, man, this movie
Yeah.
sucks.
I feel like,
You know,
yeah,
it's
if
just
you,
weird that people would hate it.
yeah. Yep.
6
yep.
of it.
That's pretty much all I really had to say about the movie, unless you guys have anything to
Well,
add.
Well, so let's get into the real quick. So the chick who is promoted based on sleeping with the old man CEO.
Does she actually fuck
know,
him? She just looks like
Well, I mean,
she's like,
they're in the hot tub together. I'm
oh,
assuming they fucked. They were
she
both
gives him
naked.
that-
Maybe they just enjoy soaking.
Yeah.
They soaking something. She's like, he goes, damn girl, your body's 60% water and 40% me.
It's like, man, you crazy.
So she picks Kane. Like, okay, let's talk about the failed RoboCops.
Okay. Yeah, we
So
didn't mention that, I guess.
The first one comes out looking like a fucking droid, one of those war droids from episode 3. And episode 2, like the ones on Geonosa. I don't know which ones those are, Cody. Like the souped up droids, the gray ones, but they're not
The
the
super
destroyer
battle droids.
Yeah, the first one looks like a super battle droid with a red and blue light on its back.
Yeah.
He goes, he says something, and then it's so funny because you see the guy who's playing the video. He's got his arm in a sling, and it cuts to like it's starting to freak out. So he pulls out the gun, kills one scientist, shoots him in the fucking arm, and then blows his brains out.
Yeah.
And then the lights come on, and then it cuts back to the guy playing the video, and he's holding his arm in a dramatic fashion, going. And then they show the next one, and he's got his arm in the sling, and the RoboCop, just kind of takes his helmet off and exposes his skull, and it's like, ah! So that kind of shit was kind of funny.
Yeah.
But she picks Kane, and, she kills him, which, you don't feel really bad for him, because he's a complete psychopath. But when they take his brain out, he looks like that fucking Martian movie you made us watch, Cody, with
Mars Attacks.
Yeah, Mars Attacks. Did he not? When you just see like the eyeballs, you see the brain with the spinal column. It looks just like fucking Mars Attacks to me.
Yeah, it does.
Just
His
live
head,
action.
his brain is like way too big. Like it's fucking bigger than the lady's head.
Well, when they cut off the top of his skull and you pull it out, you see that all kind of like that black ooze with the red blood. I think that's supposed to be like the nuke buildup in his brain or some shit. Maybe. I don't know. It's cool. I just think it's funny when they're doing the fight at the end. RoboCop pulls out his brain out of the body. I think that should have disabled the robot from the word go. Like, it's not supposed to continue to function, even though the brain's just right there. He goes, "Goodbye, Kane." He's like, with his eyeball and shit. I think that shit was kind of funny. And he just crushes it with his hand one more time, and then Kane just, like, it deletes the program and he's dead. I think that shit's kind of entertaining. When I saw that brain, I'm like, my God, it's like that fucking Mars movie. Like, Tim Burton got the idea for that movie watching RoboCop 2. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, I just want to make sure. I was like, oh, shit.
RoboCop 2.
So did you guys have a favorite action sequence in this movie?
Gulp.
No,
I liked the part where he comes into the where Kane is jonesing out for his nuke at the end, and then RoboCop comes in with the big fucking anti-material rifle and shit, and he blows him up.
Hey, how'd you like when RoboCop is getting prepared to jump off the van onto Kane? He like bends down, puts his hands together, is like, I'm like, how does Kane not hear this? He's right fucking behind him.
Oh yeah.
But so there is one sequence in this movie that was caught on camera. It's like another little movie trick. So when RoboCop steals the motorcycle to catch up to Kane, right? So
I don't like that sequence. I think that sequence.
No,
is
I know.
dumb.
It is dumb. But so here's the part that's funny about it, though. So in every sequence you see RoboCop, he moves like he's supposed to, right? But if you watch that scene, once he gets on the motorcycle, the stunt driver who's in the suit, turns his head real quick to make sure he's not about to hit something.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, that take probably shouldn't make it in the movie because you see RoboCop's head move like a normal human and back and forth.
He had to check his
And
blind
I
spot.
rewound it. I'm like, yeah, he's a blind spot, yeah. But I just thought it was funny how he was like, I'm like, I know it came out a year later, but Terminator 2 did the motorcycle shit way better.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man, I rewatched it. Like I said, I liked this movie a lot when I was a kid. I still like it, but I definitely don't like it as much. And I can see the faults of it, but none of the faults are big enough for this movie to be hated like it is.
Yeah.
Like, oh, it was one of the worst sequels. I'm like, no, it's not. People hated on fucking Predator 2 specifically for the reason it didn't have Arnold Schwarzenegger in it. And I fucking love Predator 2.
He needs to come back. He needs to go, I've dealt with one of these before.
So,
come on, kill
Danny
me.
Trachtenberg,
Sorry.
Danny Trachtenberg, or however you say his name, did say he had 3 ideas when he was approached or wanted to do this franchise. He made 2 of them. He made Prey and he made Badlands. He has a 3rd idea he wants to. He didn't say what it was. There's no way it's not like bringing Arnold Schwarzenegger back. Because all these movies, Prey and Badlands, they're connected, but they're also standalone. Like, Badlands is way in the future, Prey is way in the past. And they're just introducing some of these characters, but like they don't have to be in the next movie. So I have a feeling like it has to be like, if this movie makes, I'm hoping the movie at least clears 200 million. I doubt it, but I hope they do bring Arnold and Danny Glover back for something.
Come on.
It would be fucking cool.
I'm right here. So. Come on. Fuck me. Come on.
I remember that. Owen, I think you showed me that originally.
Yeah.
They come on, fuck me, do it, fuck me, and they have a kid together.
Fuck me, I'm right here, come on. Jack me off, come on.
Come on, cuddle me, love me.
I just thought about that. I forgot about that until we were talking about it. You want me to start with the recommendation?
Hey, it's your episode, bud.
Yeah, I were kind of.
Well, I
Yeah,
don't
man,
recommend
go
this fucking movie. No, I'm just kidding. It's a pretty good movie. I think it's a good watch, even though we were kind of negative a little bit on here. But a lot of the positives, just to recap, I feel like it's a pretty good action movie. The humor is there in bits and pieces. It isn't too different from the first RoboCop, so it's kind of like just having a little extra. Maybe not as good RoboCop, but still pretty good. So yeah, give it a watch.
Yeah, I recommend it. I've already gave my reasoning. Like, it is less than, but it's still a pretty damn good sequel. So I recommend it.
Nice.
I also recommend it. Like I said earlier, it's not as good as the first one, but it's still enjoyable to watch.
Would you guys rather watch this or watch Morbius?
Or watch what?
Morbius.
You
What?
broke up. You
Yeah,
broke
you
up
broke
at
up.
the end.
Oh, I said, would you rather watch this RoboCop 2 or Morbius?
I'd rather watch this.
This.
Okay. Would you rather watch RoboCop 2 or Jason Goes to Hell?
This easy.
Would you rather watch RoboCop 2 or I'm trying to think of another bad movie. Avatar 2.
Or what, dude?
Which one?
I said Avatar 2.
Oh.
I was laughing when I was saying it.
I didn't actually watch Avatar 2 all the way through. I just kind of came in bits and pieces.
I've seen it,
my
but I
girl.
don't...
Yeah. I'd rather watch this, I feel like.
Cody,
Yeah.
are you trying to tell me, Cody, that a $2 billion movie isn't memorable because the plot's probably too similar to the first movie?
I've said this for years. I've said this ever since the first Avatar movie. Those movies are like great spectacle pieces, but they don't have enough substance to them to make them that memorable. Like,
Yeah.
the second one, I know that like the main character, Jake, I think his name is, has kids with Natiri, I think that's her name, and they go to like this other village that they live like on the water, and somehow the bad guy from the first movie also got his own avatar body, and James Cameron already spoiled that he'll be the villain in like basically all the movies that they're gonna make, so it's like there's no tension anymore. And
Cody, somehow Palpatine returned.
what?
Yeah.
Remember that episode 9?
Somehow
In episode
Palpatine
9 where he's like,
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't really remember the plot of the movie. I just remember them like showing up at this water village, and then the villain from the first movie also shows up because like his son, he has like a human son that's running around on the Avatar world.
He's like, you took my boy.
Yeah, so I don't know. RoboCop 2
I can't
over
even-
Avatar.
I can't even remember the first movie, and I've watched it twice.
I've watched that one like 3 or 4 times. I remember it a lot more, but it's basically just Disney's Pocahontas in Avatar form.
Yeah, it dances with
I do.
wolves.
Fucking,
Mm-hmm.
I just remember, like, we talked about it quite a bit with Cameron, and he's directed great fucking movies. Not taking anything away from him. Well, he sat there and criticized the MCU for, I guess, swallowing up the market when it comes to making money for the movie theaters.
I think, but see,
And
what's
his
weird
two
is he
biggest
also said that
hits.
at a time where, like, the Avengers was very much Avengers Endgame or whatever, or Infinity War. I can't remember which one it was very much about to pass the first Avatar movie, and then he decided to come out and like shit talk comic book movies. It's like, dude, you're literally going to spend the rest of your fucking career making nothing but Avatar movies that have no fucking
Have more
substance to
CGI.
it. Yeah, that's all it
Who
is.
even-
CGI.
They have more
I don't even know that
more
many
CGI
people that
than
are
a
like.
fucking Marvel movie.
Yeah.
I don't know that many people that like are excited for the Avatar movies. I think it's like a foreign market thing. Like I feel like Chinese audiences and shit love Avatar.
Dude, when we were in Florida,
Well, hey,
We were on so we stay at the Disney hotel, right? So we ride like their buses or whatever back and forth from the theme parks. And there was this woman and like maybe her daughter. It was an older woman and like another woman who was like in her like 30s or 40s. And we were leaving Animal Kingdom, which is where Avatar, like the world of Pandora is, the Avatar land that they have. And there's a ride where like it simulates you riding on the back of a Banshee, which is a super cool fucking ride. Like it's amazing, the technology and stuff around it and how it feels and everything. It's really good. But anyway, we're riding this bus like back to the hotel, and I hear the older woman like ask her daughter. I'm assuming it's her daughter. She's like, "So are you gonna watch the first Avatar movie now?" Because I guess she'd never seen it. She's like, "Yeah, I don't know, I might." She's like, "Trust me, you will be amazed. The story is incredible." And I'm just thinking, ugh.
It'd blow you away. Better than Shakespeare.
That ride is better than either of the Avatar movies.
It will blow your cock clean off.
Like that's the thing. Like,
Yeah, I always.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say that I always found it funny because I've watched the first Avatar like once or twice, and when they're having sex, they do that little tentacle thing where it just kind of connects. So I guess it makes a connection between them. But when they're also riding their little banshees, they also do the tentacle thing. I'm like, isn't that bestiality? And another thing too, when my beard gets too long, and let's say I'll just wake up in the morning, and I really don't. When I go to work, I'm not combing my beard out like I should. Like I don't really care about my appearance going to work. My clothes are clean. I got deodorant on. That's good enough. My hair's in a ponytail. But I'll sit there and I'll yawn or whatever, and then my mustache hair will go into my nose and touch my nose hair, and it's almost like an Avatar moment where they're like mingling together. I'm like, what the fuck is that? Get off me,
And with that, we ought to end the episode.
That's the high point. Cody, what's our next movie, sir?
So the next movie is going to be It. I think 1990. I think that's the year it came out.
Damn, we're 1990. Just like this movie.
Yeah, it's the 2-part like TV special thing that they made in the 90s, which is compiled into one overall thing on HBO Max. So we're gonna watch that.
We've also established that we have to watch it and then go through the credits and watch the second half because they ripped it straight from VHS to.
See, I don't, and that's what we were talking about before. I don't know if they did it that way or if they just edited it all together where it's like it flows.
No,
but
if they did it where they just ripped the VHS tape straight to HBO Max, I will applaud them for being fucking diabolical
because like both parts are part of the same thing on there, but I do know like the videotape I have when I was a kid, it was set up that way. Like it was one tape, but part 1 would end, and then there would be credits, and then like after the credits, it would be part 2. So I don't know. I just wanted to give you both. I mean, obviously, Lance, you've seen it before, so you know. But Owen, when we go to watch it in a couple weeks, I just want to give you a heads up that if you hit credits and you check the time and it's like halfway over, it's because there's credits like at the end of part 1, and then you're supposed to go into part 2. But we're gonna watch that, and then it'll be Owen's pick, or it'll be
Lance's 2 picks.
Yes. So Lance is going to do both of the Broly movies back to back.
Well, hold on. We're going to be doing Dragon Ball Z Broly and Dragon Ball Z Bio Broly.
Right.
No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
We're going to be doing Dragon Ball Z Broly, the Legendary Super Saiyan, and then the Dragon Ball Super Broly movie because I really want an unaltered opinion from Owen on both of those movies.
Yeah. So
and then we'll be going back in rotation.
Yeah. So the plan is it'll be It 1990, and then it'll be the Dragon Ball Z Broly movie, the first one. Then the following week will be Lance's pick again. It'll be the Dragon Ball Super Broly movie,
Super Broly,
which will push Owen's back by 1 week from where it originally would be, which I'm sure Owen doesn't know what it is yet. And then the way that I think we're doing it is that we're going to do It and It Chapter 2 back to back, correct?
Yeah.
Right, and then we'll be back on regular rotation where it'll be Lance, Owen, Cody. Lance, Owen, Cody.
Yeah.
So.
Lance, Owen, Cody. Lance, Owen, Cody. LOC. LOC.
More like shit.
Legion of
But
Poon. No. But yeah, let's wrap it up.
well, hey, real quick, man, before we head out of here, we lost a viewer, R.I.P. Sarah. I was texting her the other day, and I said, "Have you ever watched? Do you still listen to the show?" She goes, "I'm a couple episodes behind." So whenever you fall behind on a podcast, I just assume you're never coming back. I just told them, like, hey, there's no continuity to the podcast. Just listen to the new episode. It's fun.
We don't really.
The podcast is supposed to be evergreen, regardless. Like, yeah, we may talk about some like current event type things here and there, but this podcast is always planned to be where if you go through the back catalog and there's a movie that you like or you just want to hear us talk about or whatever, then it's there. So
Yeah, it's evergreen, like the giant boat that just blocked up the canal.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You don't remember the fucking, like, a couple years ago when that boat got stuck in, like, the, whatever the fuck the canal's called in Egypt or whatever? It was the Evergreen or whatever the fuck.
I don't remember that.
Well,
I'll take
I was just trying to do a
they
bit.
were up. Well, look, the Nile is also just a river in the.
What is that
Egypt.
damn fucking
But
canal called?
Look, we got to shout out our most famous listener right now. It would be Young Kazi, the film editor, video editor. Well, Kazi on the Beat is his Spotify profile name. On Twitter, he followed both my account and his Young Kazi. So shout out to him. He's still listening. We appreciate you. And also on YouTube, Cody, I don't know if you saw this, which was fucking wild. We got some guy on. We have 132 subscribers on Filmosity, which is fucking wild. No, go away. I don't want to do that.
Go away.
This dude, Film Trek, was a new subscriber. And he said, let's go to our episode of Batman Forever.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
dope.
and he is a pretty big following on YouTube. So shout out to Film Trek too. Thanks for commenting.
Man,
And if
thanks,
anybody
bro.
has anything to say to us, let us know. And
And to
like
all
I
the
said-
other listeners, hell yes. Keep on listening.
yeah, hey, we appreciate you listening. Like, Spotify doesn't seem to be our strong point, but if you're on Spotify, hey, we're on YouTube. We don't have our faces on YouTube yet. That might be something we try at the first year. But
We just all wear
you know,
masks.
just,
We all wear masks like those guys in the
Slipknot.
pornos.
Like Slipknot mask.
Now I'm gonna dress up as Chad Gray from Mudvayne. So y'all can go fuck yourself.
I say we all wear
anyway,
masks and put a tarp down and, you know.
All right, let's
Whatever.
wrap this shit up.
Whatever happens next
right, everybody.
happens next, you know.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much for listening so far. Like, share, subscribe, podcast. Filmoscopy Podcast. Just Google us. We're everywhere. And as always, thank you and finish him.
Did you say finish him?
Yes, I did. Finish.
Okay, off. There you go.